Good morning. Welcome to this morning's devotional. I trust that it will give you inspiration and encouragement for the rest of the day. This morning's devotional is taken from the Gospel of John, John chapter 12, verse 24. It says, "Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone by itself. But when it falls to the ground and dies, it brings forth life." You know, the Gospel of John, particularly amongst the four Gospels, is written to Christians, to believers. Also the Gospel of Matthew. So here is a word was given with regard to the journey of discipleship. As you begin the day, I want to talk to you and give you some tips with regard to what do we think about in terms of discipleship. Well, four words. The first word is the word servanthood. The second word is the word stewardship. The third word is the word sacrifice. And the fourth word is the word surrender. Remember that? Servanthood, stewardship, sacrifice, and surrender. So let's go through this one at a time. The first word is the word servanthood. It's also important as we understand the journey, as we work and give our best, the posture of servanthood is so important. The Bible says in Mark 10:45, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many." So what it means is really, Jesus says, you may be the customer on the table, but I am the waiter. What a great posture of servanthood and serving people. We can take that from the Lord. Now please understand, whether you are CEO, whether you are mid-level manager, or you are an executive, or you are a general worker, a clerical staff, it doesn't matter. It's the posture of servanthood that is important. Because when you learn in everything to serve people, it is a ministry. Whatever you are doing to serve people, it will be of great gain to you, just like what Jesus had done. You know that if you are serving people, you would never be in lack of a client or be in lack of people who would support you, or the fact that you would have less enemies when you have this posture of serving. You know, I learned this early in my life and I continue to learn it on and on again, asking God to teach me and give me the posture of servanthood. In my whole life, I only applied for a job. After that, everything else is because someone referred me to a job, or when my boss moved to another place and he brings me along. Now the posture of servanthood is of great gain. So that's the first word. Second word is the word stewardship. So important to understand, and we look at that from Matthew chapter 25. You remember the parable of the talents. One of the servant is given 10 talents, another servant is given 5, and they all have the same affirmation from the Lord. "Well done, good and faithful servant," because for the one who has 10, he multiplied twice. For the one with 5, he multiplied twice again. But when it comes to the one with the 1 talent, it says, "Look, master, I hid your talent in the ground, and when you come back, I dug it up and give it back to you." You know what the master says? "You wicked and lazy servant." Can you imagine that? At least you should put your money in the bank so that when I come back, there would be the principal plus interest. So important to understand that we are entrusted. Whether it is your time, your talent, or treasure, we are entrusted with something. And there will be what we call a day of reckoning, a day of accountability, or I would call it, in a marketplace term, return on investment. Whatever God has put into our lives, invested into our lives, He requires an ROI, return on investment. So important. Whatever you have is not yours, brothers and sisters. You are entrusted. Even the children that God gives to you, you are entrusted with that. And it is a stewardship issue. So the first word, as we take the journey of being a disciple of Jesus Christ, is the word servanthood. The second word is the word stewardship. The third word is the word sacrifice. If you remember 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 24, the context of it was that David became proud and he conducted a census amongst Israel. He numbered the people. Now, please understand, God knows the intents of our heart. In this particular case, it's not the census that was wrong, but it was the pride that is in our heart that is wrong. And as a result of that, God devastated Israel. So many Israelites who died. And David was heartbroken. He says, God, please stop, please stop. I rather that you would take my life. And then the angel of wrath stopped at the place called the threshold of Araunah. It was where Araunah, alright, he basically used it for the threshing floor. Okay, the threshing floor of Araunah, where they thresh wheat. And David said, I want a place. We'll build an altar to the Lord. And David asked Araunah says, you can take it. It's for you, for free. But King David says, no, I will pay a price. I will not offer to the Lord anything that costs me nothing. It's a principle of discipleship. And you know what happened? God honored that. And that threshing floor of Araunah is actually the same place, Mount Moriah, where Abraham was about to sacrifice his son Isaac. And it is the same place where the temple of the Lord is being built. Mount Moriah. Today we call it the Temple Mount. You know, the journey of discipleship requires a journey of sacrifice. And it's not something that we grit with our teeth and say, wow, you know, it's so tough, so hard. I tell you, I shared with you that when I moved from being a stockbroker to a pastor, you know, my salary drops from Lao Ting for a Lao Ka in Hokkien. It's a big drop in salary. Was it a sacrifice? Yes. Well, in the sense that I have to, you know, really make great adjustments to my living standards. Selling my private property, go into government property, cancelling all my insurance policies and stuff like that. But it's something that I did with joy in my heart. And I said, Lord, I'll do that. And you know, God never let you suffer. I enjoyed all my time as a pastor because I know that I'm right in the middle of God's calling. It's important. So I welcome you and encourage you to take that journey. 4 words. The first word is servanthood. The second word is stewardship. The third word is sacrifice. And finally, the fourth word is surrender. You know that is the overall objective of our life. You know, Romans 8:28 says, and it's our favorite verse, all things work out for good to those who love God, who are called according to His purpose. We like to quote that word and say, hey, you know, it's okay, everything will be working out for great. But you know something? We need to read a verse not out of its context, but within its context. So where's the context and where is the finality? It's verse 29. It says, so that all of us will conform to the image of Christ, His Son. And that's the key. So what we're doing is that as we learn this journey of servanthood, stewardship, and sacrifice, the final thing that God actually wants us. In fact, that's His objective, His purpose in our life. It's not so much what we do for Him, which is important, but finally how we become. To be a more and more like Jesus Christ, to be conformed to the image of His Son. That's where we are. So I trust that you will be blessed as you begin the day, that you remember everything that you do. God has a plan for you. These 4 words. Alright, the first word is servanthood. Second is stewardship. The third is sacrifice. And the fourth is surrender. That finally each and every one of us will grow to be more and more like Jesus Christ. May God bless you with this devotional thought. Have a great day. Bye-bye.